Rolling. Three, two, one, and action. Andrea, two, one.
My name is Andrea, also known as Miss Nandi. I currently serve in the member care department as the ministry coordinator. I've been there for about 2.5 years now. Yes, what do I like to do for fun? I enjoy staying in the house. Yes, because staying in the house is fun. There's food, there's internet, there's warm fuzzy things. The house is amazing. I'd like to say that I have two salvation stories, or rather, I got saved 2 times. It doesn't make sense to some people. I grew up in an Anglican home, and there's usually a lot of mutaratara in the Anglican church. We're expected to do the baptism thing, and then we're expected to do the confirmation thing. So I got confirmed when I was 13 years old. So I was doing everything Anglican related. When I got confirmed, I became accepted by the church, the Anglican church, but I didn't know who God was. I knew the 10 Commandments, I could say them by heart. I knew the Apostles' Creed, I could say it by heart. But man, there was no change in my life. Enters Inda. I got into Inda in 2014, and I got saved in March of 2014. And how I got saved is one of the leaders was talking about what Christianity is and what Christianity is about. And that was the first time it was explained to me in a manner that made sense. Christianity is all about the relationship you have with God. It didn't matter if I was taking communion, it didn't matter that I was confirmed by the church if I didn't know who God was. Like, none of that really mattered at all. So yes, that is how I got saved. So I usually say I got saved twice. The Anglican way, which was the confirmation, and the second way, which was actually giving my life to Christ. I got into Inda in 2014, as already said. I joined Inda because I had this amazing cousin, currently a missionary in the UK. He used to come home every day with amazing stories of what they did in Inda. He told me about Lukitang, he told me about the missions. Oh my gosh, and that concert was also amazing. I think for the longest time, I really waited for Inda. I waited for Inda for 3 years. My cousin was in Inda in 2011. I waited 2012, 2013. Oh, only 2 years. Oh, okay, yeah. I waited in 2012 and 2013 and finally joined in 2014. The Inda experience was life-changing for me. A lot of people who know me would not believe that I'm an introvert, but I am. Inda gave me an opportunity to be able to learn how to express myself through various forms. Inda was the first time I actually danced in public. Inda was the first time I acted or actually did anything on the outside. I was more reserved as a child, seeing how I grew up. And also the fact that I was an introvert was not very helpful. So given an opportunity to actually express myself was amazing. The leadership was really great. We had people who genuinely cared about us, and it wasn't because it was a program per se. When you spend 8 months with the same people, you're more likely to bond and love on each other, which is really great. I met some of my closest friends in Inda, and I'm really grateful for that. My Inda highlights, I really enjoyed the camps. We went for 2 camps. First camp, Camp Big Brother. I don't know why it's called Camp Big Brother, but that's where we began to bond with each other as Inda people. It was the first camp that we attended that kind of helped us remove the illusion of people being perfect. Because when they wake up with all the drool on their face, and a bisho in their eyes, fun times. We used to do a lot of running, a lot of exercise. Obviously, you see how people are unfit. Camp was amazing. We did a thing we called Wall of Fame, where we wrote letters for each other. And one of the requirements was to make sure that it's a personalized letter. So nothing generic, nothing like you're cool, it's fun, let's hang out sometime. No, it wasn't like that. It was very deep, intimate letters, and I really am grateful for that. The next highlight is probably being given an opportunity to serve in Youth Week. I think that's when I discovered that this leadership thing is actually really fun. Aside from spending time with cool people, I really enjoyed being in a position of leadership because it gave me a push to actually grow as a Christian, because I have to know more. I should be able to answer questions. Example, is Jesus real? Did he actually exist? Can you prove aside from the Bible that he actually exists? What's the difference between Christianity and Islam? You know, those questions that you're asked in Bible study. So Inda gave me an opportunity to serve in the youth ministry, and I had to learn and I had to grow. I had to research. So amazing. And I think the last highlight was probably the last camp. The last camp we went to Lukenya Getaway under the Camp Winning Ways team. It was just after the loss of one of our leaders. Rest in peace, Ken Spin. And that experience was very eye-opening in terms of learning how to ask for help, learning how to face your fears regardless of the situation and how scary it was. So we did high ropes. What else did you do? We did the normal camp thing. We did the Bible study. We did high ropes. If you don't know what high ropes, you can Google it. And we also got an experience on what life would be like on the outside once you join campus. So yeah, those are my 3 highlights. The first camp, the last camp, and the one I said before the last camp, which I have forgotten. One of the ministries we do as Inda is going for a mission trip. In 2014, we were supposed to go to Lokitang. I remember I was very excited. We went shopping in Gikosh and other places. Well, I didn't go because I don't know Gikomba. Mini lenda kangeni, but yeah. We did a bit of shopping all over the place. Got all our long dresses and our decent shirts. We were very excited. And then I got sick. Yeah, I got sick. But I was very, very, very excited about going for the trip. So my father went to Isili, bought me a ticket, organized with one of his friends in Lodwar for me to be picked at Lodwar, and I was supposed to wait for Age there. But God had different plans. So on the morning of the day we were supposed to travel, I was dropped in Isili at about 4 a.m. ready to take on the 3-day journey by myself with random strangers. Then I got a call from one of the ministry coordinators to tell me not to come. I was a bit confused at the beginning until he told me that one of the leaders had passed on and that we needed to come. That was a very tough moment, not just for me but for the entire team. I'd say that is the lowest part of Inda for me. Losing a loved one, losing someone I cared about so much. Yeah. I think also because of that experience, me and my close friends got even closer because we had something in common that was beyond us. And I really thank Paki also for helping us go through that tough season. I have served in the youth ministry from 2014 to 2019. I have been going for camps, I've been leading Bible study. Mimi nimekuwa huyo msee wa background. So if you need requisitions, I'm your person. If you need things to move in Paki, I was your person. Nowadays nimetulia kidogo. But I think one of the biggest highlights when I was going through Inda versus when I was going through, versus when I was taking people through Inda in 2016 was the experience is the same yet different. You get to learn the lessons again and with more mature eyes, and you get to appreciate certain things. In Inda 2014, we were taught how to do presentation Tuesdays. So you had to learn how to do slides, you had to learn how to do research and proper research, not Google based, no, actual research. You were questioned, you were examined. It was so hard. But in 2016, when I got to do it, I think I fully understood what exactly the leaders in 2014 were doing. They're preparing us for life. So in the same way, I was trying to give the same experience to the guys who I led in 2016. What are the key things that they can learn under me that I learned and I'm currently using in life? Something as simple as how to properly make slides. Out here, people don't know how to make slides. And I'm really grateful that I'm one of the few people who learned from Paki. So things like that. I also remember during the exam result season in 2014, I remember being so anxious and nervous. I didn't want to be alone. I needed a distraction. So the leaders gave us an idea. Let's go swimming, which releases all the tension and it works as catharsis of some sort. In 2016, we also advocated for the same. We didn't go swimming, but we went for a hike, which was really amazing. It's the small things that I experienced that I was trying to help other people experience. So my highlight for Inda was just giving people what I was given. All the love, all the care, all the concern, giving 100% as I had received. Yes. Yo, 2018, I went to Mount Kenya and I almost died. You're making me nervous. As I was saying, 2018, I went to Mount Kenya with absolutely no preparation, absolutely no training, with borrowed clothes. Yes, I borrowed clothes just to go to Mount Kenya. The shoes, the hat, even the boshori I borrowed. Boshori is balaclava, for those who don't know what that is. 2018, I remember we went up in, I think, 3 days, maybe less. I think it was slightly less than 3 days. We arrived and immediately started the journey. The leadership was under Pastor Winnie, who was gracious enough to give us potters so we didn't have to carry our bags for ourselves, and we're really grateful for that. I remember on the day we went for Pick Attack. Pick Attack is the last day where you wake up at about 3 or you start the journey at about 3 a.m. so you can catch the sunrise. Tulipanda. Tukapanda. Hatukuwa tunafika. You can barely feel your feet. You can barely feel your hands. But you trust that they're still there. So yeah, you go all the way up to the top. We take amazing selfies. My selfie is on Instagram in case anyone is asking. Yes. To show that I actually went to Mount Kenya. Yeah. I remember when we were coming down, after taking all those pics, great pics, when we were coming down, I saw a friend of mine. His name is Frisky. Yes, he was sliding down a hill made of snow. Very cool manner. Made me think I can do it. But my COG is horrible. So I went down. After being told over and over again by the porter that I am unable to do it, I insisted on doing it. I refused to heed a professional's opinion and I almost died. So I went down, I squatted down, began to slide down. Somewhere by the middle, I lost control. I think I was on my back by the time I got to the bottom. And right down there was like a huge boulder. Yes. And I was plummeting down, waiting for death, knowing that this is the day I die. And then Frisky saved me. He cushioned my fall. And it made me think about all the stupid things that I have done, even when people have told me that I'm not supposed to do it. I'm thinking about how I may have lost my life on that day based on a very, very stupid reason. Like, nilikuwa nafanya nini lakini. But I'm grateful that I was saved. It doesn't sound like it's as dramatic, but when it plays in my head, it's like super dramatic. I think of that. I think of when we were sliding down, just from the tip all the way down. We were told to lean right. When you turn left, you look left. There's nothing. There's no ground. It's all the way down there. And I remember feeling my body turning left. And a porter yelled at me, asking me if I want death. And I said no. So he held me all the way until I got down. So Mount Kenya was an amazing experience. Nilishuka kama niko na maumivu, but I'm really grateful that I got out of it safely. One thing I've learned is the story is not about me. The me serving is not about me, it's about God. My mother reminds me over and over again that I am the donkey that Jesus sat on. The story is not about me, the story is about Christ. When Jesus entered Jerusalem, it wasn't about the donkey. The donkey was special. It truly was. It had never been ridden or anything. But the story was not about him, the donkey. It was about him, Jesus. That's one thing I have learned. So even as I continue serving, I have to constantly remind myself, it's not about Andrea, it's about Jesus. Another story I have learned is that thing where Jesus says, my sheep know my voice, is literal. I am not a shepherd in the literal sense. I don't live near sheep. I didn't know that owners of sheep actually talk to their sheep until I went to Ilchamos. There's a lady who sometimes keeps her flock in Doreen in Ilchamos, in her pen. And she used to come every day and just talk to her sheep. And regardless of where the sheep were, they were everywhere. Yeah, they were everywhere. They used to all come to her whenever she started giving stories. They knew the owner. They knew her voice and they always used to come. I think knowing the scripture and finally seeing that actually happen helped me connect the two and see why it is so important to know God and know his voice. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. Life is really not that serious. Allow yourself to experience things. Allow yourself to experiment with things. How will you know that you like skydiving if you don't actually go skydiving? Not that I have, but just a random example. How will you know you enjoy swimming if you don't actually swim? Allow yourself to experience things that you never would. I didn't think I'd enjoy things which were far from the earth, like ziplining and high ropes, until I actually experienced it. I was very scared of the idea of being all the way up there, but once I got up there, it wasn't really scary anymore. Allow yourself to experience things. Usijifungie sana. You can have fun in a way that's not worldly. Just a reminder. Boundaries. Anyone who knows me knows that I suffer with this. I really struggle to set my boundaries, and I really struggle to follow them as well. But recently I have learned that if you don't respect your own boundaries, no one else will respect them. So you need to learn how to respect your own boundaries. God loves a cheerful giver. That's something that we have heard over and over again, but that also includes the things that we do. So if you're giving something out of compulsion, you're not a cheerful giver. You'll do it in resentment and miss whatever blessing it is. This could be anywhere. It could be in church, it could be at work. If you have a boundary, stick to it. You rather say no rather than do something with resentment in your heart. So keep your boundaries. Very important. In the year 2018-2019, I was in a program called LEAP. Well, it actually technically started in 2017, but in 2018-2019, I tried to go to the US through the LEAP program, and it refused me. I was stubborn. It refused me. I tried 3 times. It refused me. Hiyo ni pesa mingi, lakini ni sawa. The first time I tried and failed, I remember getting a sense of peace about it. Yes, I decided to get out of the situation. I remember even telling Pastor Flav, I think I'm okay with the results. I don't need to go. I was okay. I was at peace with it. What happened in 2019? I forgot that God had given me peace and decided violence and problems instead, and it really messed me up. Please note, in 2018 I had gotten peace about not going. 2019, I think I saw so many of my colleagues going to the States, and I started feeling left out. So I forced issues. I looked for money. I paid with my own money. I paid with Paki money, going to get those visas. But the US Embassy refused. What is the moral of the story? If God says no, by then there's no way, nothing is ever going to happen. If God says no, he says no. If the time for me to come or go to the States rather comes, I will go. But as of now, God has said no, and I will await the time he gives me. God's will is supreme. He knows what he wants and what he needs from us. Let us just continue to abide in his will, and anything that we need, I know he will provide. So hiyo visa ikikam itakam, ikikosa pia iko sawa. Friendships is another lesson. Choose your friends wisely. The same way you have friends who can push you negatively is the same way you can have friends who push you positively. Look for friendship that actually helps you grow. You can't be around people constantly who are always worldly when you're trying to pursue God, and the inverse is also true. You've heard my story. What's yours?